Hello everyone, if you guys do not know who I am, my name is Esme. I go by Esme IRL. And it's that time of the month where we end the month and we start a new month. But before I show you guys, the next video where I have a special someone choose my books for me, let's talk about all the books that I read in the month of April/March, because my April month, she was kind of petite, kind of small. I started new classes, so the wrap up for April was a little bit shorter, but we're gonna combine it with March because I forgot to do that in March. But if you guys want to see what books I read in the past 2 months, and if you guys can find any new books to add to your guys' never ending TBR, if you guys are just like me, stick around and I'll see you guys in the next part. Alright guys, you guys arrived for your interview time. It's time to talk about the books that you read in the month of March. Now, before we go on to your side, I thought I would kind of make this like a little bit more like vloggy, kind of like we're FaceTiming and I'm telling you guys like, hey, I read these books. Like, I genuinely think you should read them. But yeah, let me start with all of the books that I read in the month of March because, I read a little bit more during that month. So combining these two, I read A Court of Wings and Ruin and A Court of Frost and Starlight. A Court of Wings and Ruin, I think it's my second favorite as of right now from the whole series. My first one I will say though is A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the lovely green book. Follows around Rise and Feyre. But yeah, this is mostly kind of like the political/war type of book, but I swear it ripped a piece of my heart out. Like, I don't know if I can ever reread A Court of Wings and Ruin recently right now because, she ruined my heart. Like, I can't go through that again. And then going right into A Court of Frost and Starlight, I don't know. I felt like you don't necessarily need to read A Court of Frost and Starlight to be able to read A Court of Silver Flames. Frost and Starlight's kind of like the buffer book because it is a novella. If you guys do not know, novellas don't count as a full book. They count as like half a book. So I would give A Court of Wings and Ruin, I gave it a 4.7. Like, mwah. She was almost 5-star material, but like I will say though, there was a few times where I just like somewhere here in the chunk right here, in this chunk right here, I felt like I could have just, and you probably might have not even noticed the difference. And then Frost, ooh, she was not my favorite girl. Let me just say that. Like, girly pop was not my fave. So I gave her a 3 out of 5. Like, she wasn't the worst thing I've ever read. I'm not gonna say any books, but just know she wasn't the worst thing I've ever read, but she wasn't the best I've ever read either. Like, my bestie over there, Divine Rivals, I don't know if you guys can see her, but yeah, she's not the best thing I've ever read, not the worst. So 3 out of 5. Next book that I read was Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. This is actually the second book ever that I read of Ali Hazelwood. I believe the first book of hers that I read was Love on the Brain. Did not finish it though because I soft DNF'd it for like a good while, which it's still on the soft DNF. But then I read Bride by Ali Hazelwood and I got so motivated to read another book, and so I read Love Theoretically. Oh my god, I love Jack and I love Elsie. Like, oh my god, if I could just go back, like stick my head into this book, like take me now, take me now, take me in now book, like I will totally do it. Like 5-star material. Like, I can actually remember every single thing that happened in this book still to this day, and it's basically already been a month since I read it. But yeah, like, tell me this is actually kind of interesting. So basically, just to tell you the gist of it, it follows around Elsie, who is a theoretical physicist, and she kind of has like this enemies to lovers kind of like academic rivalry with Jack, because Jack kind of like ruined her mentor's life because he's an experimental physicist. So like they're both like the opposite of kind of like a similar coin, but like they kind of like despise each other, one of another. But like, the tension, the drama was just chef's kiss. Like, out of any Ali Hazelwood book you ever read, read this book. Trust me, you will love it. But yeah, I gave this book 5 out of 5. And she's not really that spicy. She maybe, like, out of this whole book, maybe there's only like 2 spicy scenes, which honestly I kind of love. I've realized that I have a skill that I can read pure dirty adulterous smut in public and not bat an eyelid. Like, this will be me reading on the subway, okay? Like, but tell me, right, I'm at home, I'm just like, ooh, oh my god, scandalous. Oh my, ooh. Like, all the emotions come out when I'm at home. But yeah, Love Theoretically, I love you. Like, you were the best, one of the best that I've ever read. All right, the second to last book that I read in March was Happily Never After by Lynn Painter, which is actually my first ever book of her. If you don't know, it follows around Sophie, who kind of like on her wedding day finds out that her husband, like her soon-to-be husband, basically cheated on her, and so she can't divorce, like she can't basically break up with him because her ex-boyfriend/ex-fiance's father is the owner or is the boss of her father. So like she can't be the one that disrupts the wedding because it's gonna impact the father, right? And so the best friend of Sophie hires kind of like this guy to basically be like, I object for them to marry, and then gives a reason why they shouldn't marry. Kind of like he's the objector. And then after basically he objects her wedding, they kind of like team up and like they become the objector, objectress, because like, you know, sometimes he's not gonna be able to object to some things because it wouldn't make sense. And then she's gonna object to the things that he can't basically do. Sorry, y'all. My mom just came in and my camera died, so I had to plug it in really quickly. But yeah, I was talking about, I think I last talked about Happily Never After. And so the last book that I read in the month of March was Swift and Saddle by Lila Sage, which is kind of like a small town cowboy romance. And so after I read this book, I had just read it after Flawless by Elsie Silver. So I was in like a great like cowboy mood. And so I was like, ooh, like I want to read more. This follows around Wes, who is kind of like trying to prove to his family that he can be serious. So he hires this interior decorator to decorate like this kind of like an Airbnb style house. To basically, he hires a girl who goes by the name of Ada. He hires her, is expecting her to, oh hello princess. He basically hires her to basically, you know, do the house and make it pretty, so that way he can like rent it out during the summer to, you know, visitors coming into, I believe it's Rebel Blue Ranch where they're located. But then he meets Ada. Like he didn't know, like Ada didn't know he was gonna be her new boss. And so they met at a bar, and you know, some tension happens, and like they kind of like mwah, like mwah, 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 mwah. Like they just make out all of a sudden. And then she's like, oh my god, I have to go get ready for work, I have to leave, deuces. But what she doesn't realize is that she accidentally left her bag at the bar, and Wes has it. So the next day when she's basically gonna go and present to Wes like her proposal, she realizes, oh my god, I do not have my iPad that has the proposal. And so she goes in and she meets Wes, and she's like, oh my god, you're the guy that I was making out with. Oh my god, you're my boss. And I made out with my boss. Oh my gosh. It is. Just know. But yeah, I love this book. I would give this book a 4 out of 5. You know, I love Done and Dusted a little bit more than this book, I won't say. But I'm so excited. The next book comes out, I think, in November. You know, I already had that pre-ordered. Just, you know, just saying for now. But yeah, that was all of the books in March. Let me show you guys all of the books that I read in the month of April. Now, in the month of April, I actually only read 3 books because, you know, I work and then I also started school. Like, I started more classes. So, I had to, like, cut down my reading a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean less than what I would like. But I finished Divine Rivals, the series at least. I read Ruthless Vows. Oh my god. This book made me sob. This book made me sob. You guys cannot believe. Like, I wish it was bigger. Just because, like, I want to know some stuff that happens after. Like, after everything, all this. I'm like, does so-and-so, so-and-so, or so-and-so. Like, I can't tell you guys exactly what happens because it is a sequel to Divine Rivals. So, if you do not know, Divine Rivals basically follows around these 2 characters who both kind of, like, have a magical typewriter that they talk to. And this happens after something that happens on the cliffhanger of Divine Rivals. And I love Ruthless Vows, Divine Rivals. I will always reread this book. She is my fave. I personally rated this book based on the vibes that I got from it. I give it a 5. Trust me. Trust me. Read this book. You will not be sorry. If you really love romance / fantasy, you will love this book. Just trust me. Like, don't take my word for it. Just, you know, just trust me. Trust me. But yeah, I love this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5. And I would greatly recommend you guys to read it. The next book that I read was Wild Love by Elsie Silver, which is actually her new book. If you guys do not know, Elsie Silver is the author of the Chestnut Spring series, which I will actually show you guys a video because I officially now have every single book. So I can actually show you guys what they look like. But yeah, this is her newest book in her new Rose Hill series. Is basically this whole series is gonna follow around single billionaire. You guys didn't hear it from me, but single billionaire. Like, like you guys can't hear me scream because I can't scream anymore. But like oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But if you guys do not know, this follows around Forbes Grant, who is categorized by Forbes as the world's hottest billionaire. Ooh. But while he's trying to juggle this new title that he has, this new money, starting a new record player, all of a sudden it turns out, oh my god, I have a child. It's like a preteen. And so he basically hires Rosie, who comes back in after something happens, you know, as one does, you know, when something bad happens, you want to go to like where you're familiar, you want to go to your roots. And so he basically hires Rosie to basically become the nanny of his new daughter, who actually I already forgot her name. And I just read this last week, but I already forgot her name. I rated this on Vibes again. I rated this a 4 out of 5 because, like, I won't lie to you guys, she's a little bit long. Like, I did lose my attention a few times, but this is a very smut heavy book, just saying that. So if you guys really like smut, I would recommend checking out Wild Love. I bought this book, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I bought it because it was pink. Like, if you guys cannot tell, pink is my favorite color. Emphasis on my chair, but pink is my favorite color. And you know this one's gonna look pretty with the rest of my pink books if I can, you know, organize it. And then lastly, the last book that I read in the month of April was The Song of Achilles. Oh my god, this is another book that tore my heart. I swear, in April, I had 2 5 stars. Like, can you believe it? Like, I gave A Song of Achilles 5 out of 5. So if you guys do not know, A Song of Achilles basically I feel like it kind of follows around, what is it, like Achilles' line? Because it follows around, okay, I always butcher his name. Patroclus, who is the, like, kind of like, he's the prince of, I forgot what the place is called. But basically, it's kind of like a Greek romance, but it also follows around the Trojan War. So basically, after Patroclus gets, you know, banished from something that I feel like he should have not been banished for, but, you know, parents sometimes back then, a little bit of a jumpy, but that's just me. But yeah, he basically gets banished, and then he meets Achilles, and, you know, sparks fly, boom, boom. They touch lips, they fall in love, ooh, like they basically just, they connect. And so they basically follow around each other. And then there was a few times where I was like, why would you do this to me? Like, I had so many emotions. Like, I cried, I was angry, I almost threw my book, but I never did because I don't want to hurt my books ever. But I almost threw my books. I hate this one character in here. I can't tell you though because it's kind of like a spoiler, but I hate one of the characters in this book. I was like, why would you do that? Like, what was the reason? What was the reason? Just why? But yeah, 5 out of 5, and I'm so thankful that I actually got this book sent to me by a viewer of mine. I appreciate you so much. You know who you are, but I appreciate you so much for sending me this book. Because funny enough, before they sent me this book, I've never heard of it. And I'm so mad I've never heard of it before. Like, I feel like I missed out on reading this sooner. Like, I love you. Like, I will never forget about you. I almost bought a special edition of it too. I didn't, but I almost did. But yeah, these are all of the books that I read in the month of, hold up, let me bring them all out. I'm like, in the month of April/May, so it's 2-month collective. These are all of the books that I read in the month of April/May. But yeah, ta-da. And I hope you all appreciate it. If you guys, you know, if you guys read any of these books, let me know down below. I'll pick that up later. I'll pick it up later. You know, you guys might have heard the thump, but I'll pick it up later. But yeah, I hope you guys all appreciate this video, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Bye, book besties. I hope you all have a great and wonderful day.